How's it going, everybody? We're going to get started very shortly. Just going to wait for you guys to pile in. If you guys say hi in the chat, I will attempt to pronounce your name and say hi back. What is the difference between UX and UI? There's a lot of memes that illustrate this quite well that I've been looking at in different Facebook groups. UI is aesthetics and UX is feel. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to put it. How's it going, Edu Park, Stefano, Shitty the God, Peter, Surya? All right. Give it maybe about 30 more seconds and we'll begin. Shoaz, Nestor, Phil, yep. Fred, Bob, give me content. John, awesome. Awesome web. It's fun stuff. Get you guys involved in the rating portion at least. Awesome. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so first of all, these live streams, for the time being at least, are sponsored by Skillshare. And Skillshare.com is an online education platform where you can learn a ton of different things, including UI and UX design, tons of courses there, illustration, graphic design, animation, web development, and much, much, much more. And if you use my link here that I'm pointing to on this side, it's also the very first link in the YouTube description. You can get 2 free months where you can watch any amount of courses and also participate in each course usually has like a challenge project section. So definitely check that out and take advantage of that offer. So for those of you who are new, basically, I usually do this on Fridays, but I'm experimenting to see, on different days to see what day might yield the best results in terms of viewership. So we're doing so we're doing it today on Sunday. And basically, what we're doing is a live review of your design. So if you want me to review right in live on air your design, and that could be either based on a user interface design like an app or a website layout, or even logo design or graphic design in general, you can come to my Discord server right here. The link is in the description in YouTube, and you click on review submissions and then submit your review or your design of some sort. You can see people have already done it right here, and I will just go on down the list. And for those of you who really want to make sure that I'm able to get to your review, because I only do this for an hour, you could send a super chat, which will thrust you to the very beginning of the queue once I see it come through, and you just mention your Discord username right here in the message and then enter some sort of monetary up here and click buy and send. Okay? I do also accept PayPal as well for those of you where YouTube doesn't give you this option, and this is the URL, not the URL, the email address to my PayPal. Just let me know in the chat that you've sent it, and I will check to make sure you sent it, and I'll do your review. All right, so I earn $2 million per month doing this. Mohit. I'm just kidding. Nowhere close to that. So let's get started right now. So the very first one that we're going to get started with is, oh, and by the way, just some news. Next Friday, there will be no live stream. There's just going to be a regular video tutorial that I release on my YouTube channel. And so I'm reverting back to just doing these live streams twice a month. All right, so it's going to be every other Friday or whatever day I deem will give me the most views. All right, so let's start here. Oh my God. Did you guys check that out? There was some crazy animation. All right, so it looks like this is just some, oh wait, no, okay. Let's refresh that again. Some crazy stuff happening here in terms of animation. There is actually an area where you can scroll down. All right, so looking at this, I thought, I didn't even know you could scroll down. So that's the first issue you need to give somebody an indication that you can actually scroll down. And this doesn't do the job, unfortunately. At least put some type of like scroll indicator here. I would probably lessen this effect, make it a little bit smaller because it's quite large here. Looking down at here, I could see this is like a record sort of website. This is old school, 1991. Yeah, this is all pretty okay to me. I just think there needs to be, like, what happens when you click on this? 1 second, let me resize. Where does this take you? Oh, no, it must be like must be a work in progress. Let's contact us. Okay, so it's just going to an email. Yeah, I would definitely probably, I wouldn't have this to say here the whole time. If you want to do this as some sort of like quick little loading animation, then make it go away and then show the full user interface, I would do that instead. I'm also not too sure about right aligning this important text and having this get in touch right here. I would probably left align that. So yeah, there's just really not enough here for me to give a great review. What's down here is pretty solid in terms of, you know, what you have going on. But yeah, we'll do a rating anyhow, just because that's fun. So let me know what you guys think in terms of a rating here. A 1 being the worst and 10 being the best that you've ever seen. All right, so we have a 7.5. I'm just gonna say, we'll say like a 5.5. All right, so yeah, definitely room for improvement. But yeah, there's definitely, I mean, this is all solid too down here. All right, I did get a super chat from Jack Williams, Sunday church fund instead of a margarita fund. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I did have my margaritas this past Friday already, so yeah, I'm good on that front. Thank you very much. Jack, if you did have something for me to review, mention it here. Oh, no design to review. Okay, cool. All right, thanks a lot, man. Every bit helps. All right, so let's continue on. That was Corrupted Pixel. We're going to do this one, Dan. This is a Figma prototype. All right, what did he say? You can review some of the screens so you have some time left over for the rest. Okay, I'm not sure where to even start. Is this going to make me sign in? These bastards make me sign in all the time. Hold on a second. See, it's not even giving me, hold on. I don't even know what my login is for. Oh, there it is. I'm going to hit play and just see what happens. All right, so this isn't working out. I guarantee you this isn't the one that you guys want me to check out. It's probably, sorry, this isn't working, dude. How do I preview these? I don't use Figma, so I'm trying to figure out like which one I should even review. How do I get rid of this? Can't get rid of that section. I just want to preview it. Well, I'll just do it in browser, I guess, or in the actual thing right here. All right, so looking at this, okay, so one thing I'm not a fan of is you have white text up here with this teal background color, and then down here you're changing it up. Like this should definitely be white. I know it's the top right icon, dude, but it's still like showing me. Hold on a second. Like, how can I switch? Like, I don't want to review the mobile version. I just want to see. Yeah, it's not giving me the option. All right. And so these values, I would say, should be white. and instead of changing up from when you have white here and there, as opposed to just having like a, what was that, dark blue or something. Same thing with this stuff. I would just make this all white, because it would still work in white, and the contrast would still be there as well. Probably left align this text and this button. Oh, I can't make adjustments over here. And of course, this doesn't seem like it's finished, whatever this this thing is. So unfortunately, because I wasn't able to get this, because I wasn't able to really get the prototype working here, I think I'm just going to end the review here and not really bother even rating it, because that didn't work out well. Sorry about that. So here's just a mock-up. From what I see here, again, there's not much here to really rate, unfortunately. From what I see, and it's real tiny as well. From what I see, it looks pretty solid though. I would probably put this up here to the upper left though. But from what I see, again, there's just not enough to really rate. It looks pretty solid though for what it is, the little that it is. Let's continue on. Horpy. And again, unfortunately, this is so small, I can't even really see it. Yeah, again, I'm not going to be able to really review that. This looks like it's just kind of like a graphic design. I like it for what it is. You imagine, we make. Solid. Unfortunately, I don't have full projects right now that are coming through for me to really review. I'm not going to spend time rating it, but it is solid. I like it in terms of graphic design. Simple portfolio site for a friend. Let's check this one out. All right, there we go. Now we have a more robust project for us to actually review. All right. So let's refresh. All right. This is solid so far. Let's come down. Got some lorem ipsum. All right. Nassim, you can join Discord. The YouTube link is the Discord link's in the YouTube description. So right here, all right, this is all solid. By the way, yeah, this is a cool text, a glitch text effect. I think I did a tutorial on that several months ago. I like the separation between the different type elements. Visual hierarchy in terms of type is very good. Yeah, there's nothing negative I can really say about this. I maybe might want to push hire me down just a tad bit more, and also the whole text block itself, so that it's more centered vertically in relation to this image. But really, yeah, that's a small minute gripe there. You could leave it just as it is, perfectly fine either way. This is solid as well. I like this. Now, there is one area where it looks like the layout's kind of sort of breaking a bit. In terms of being a strongly formatted layout, and that's like right here. So you can see we have work experience here. That's all left aligned. We have these three, and then we have center aligned right here, and then right aligned over here with a bunch of empty space. It's just, for me, it's throwing things off just a bit. I might want to prefer to put just portfolio right over here, left aligned. This is fine. See, skills left aligned, that looks good. This is all good. I might want to put ready on top of you instead of having you be on top of ready, because it makes ready kind of hard to read. But outside of that, this is all solid. Yeah, very solid. So what do you guys think that this person should get for their rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Someone says we got an 8, 7.5, 7, 9, 9, 9, 8, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I like it. I like it. That's a solid 8 for sure. Very good. Okay, let's move on. So that was, so now we have BBL Dave, BBLL Dave. All right. Five cups photography. Let's refresh, see if there's any animation. None of that. Let's come down here. I'm just a mom with a love for taking pictures, man. All right, cool. All right. Okay. So first, I've reviewed this site before, I believe, but it must have made updates to it. Is there any comments left on this? No. Okay. So the line height or the leading on this type, that definitely needs brought up or reduced rather. So if I come over here and I do line height, why is that not working? Oh, well, is there something inside of it? Oh, we already have, no? Well, I'm trying to bring the line height in, and it is not working for some reason. Like, what if I could take it to like 5 EM? Oh, there we go. Negative 1.5, 1.4 EM. Am I being slow right now? This happens every now and then. Oh, well, never mind. I'm being really slow right now. This needs brought up. That's all. So, and then, honestly, what I would do is also, where is the width? This should be all the way out and much larger on one line. Memory should last forever on the desktop. Should easily have its own line and be even a little bit larger. And then let me help with that. Should be a little bit larger as well. Oh, there's a break in between. Okay, there was a line break. I didn't see that BR. That's why. There we go. Anyhow, I'm screwing it all up. So you get what I mean right there. So that's this area should definitely be improved because you have all this space, but it's just like this. It doesn't look good at all. Coming down, we get a sticky navigation, but it's taking up way too much space. Like this is over like 10%, like probably 15 or 12% of the vertical space. So it's taking up way too much space. It makes it harder to read. It's just like covering up too much stuff. So shrink the size of this down. Perhaps on a responsive version, get rid of photography and just choose include 5 cups, and that would be much better in that regard. Outside of that, looking at this part seems pretty good here. So no really comments on that regard. This white space between this element and the type elements and the image should be pushed out further away from each other because it is too close for sure. So what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Someone said a 7, 7. 6.5, 6, 4.5. All right, I'm going to say a 6.5. I agree with that assessment, around 6.5. Definitely has potential. Just a few minor things that could only take a few minutes just to adjust, and it would push it up to perhaps maybe a 7, 7.5. Somebody sent in a PayPal versus a super chat, so I'm going to check that out and let that load up on my other monitor. While I'm letting that load and I'm getting that ready to go, I'm going to check out a logo design here. So, oh, it's 5 Cubs photography. Sorry, I thought it was 5 cups. Okay, tourist agency logo, Tango Tours. All right, so I haven't had the opportunity to review any logo designs in quite a while, but I'm glad I have this opportunity. I used to be very much into logo design. I've designed hundreds upon hundreds, or even over 1,000 plus logo designs in my past. And this one could definitely need improvement. There's simply too much happening here for it to be a really solid logo design. I know when you have all the tools at your disposal and creativity, you kind of want to, your initial, if you're a new logo designer, your initial reaction is to try to do a lot, to impress people, but you need to do the opposite. For instance, over here you have a world, which is a very complex sort of thing, the way you're featuring almost all the geographical land masses in here, very tiny details. When it comes to logo design, you want 99% of the time, you don't want to have tiny details because it won't scale well at small sizes. People won't be able to really tell what's going on. So you have that already going on in Tango. In and of itself, just having Tango tours with nothing else, like this line and this thing over here, the location pin, that would be fine. It would make the logo a lot better if it was just that. But then you also have this swoosh coming in through here, which could be in and of itself something that you do, but get rid of the world and get rid of the pin. And then also you have the pin over here, which in and of itself, getting rid of this element and this arc element would be better as well. But even the pin, inside of the pin, you have kind of a complex portrayal of people dancing. I mean, there's a reason why when you look at the top logo designs in the world where, companies are paying $1 million+ to have their logos designed or redesigned, there's a reason why they're so simple. But they're very unique. The thought behind the logo happens not through all the aesthetics and what goes into the aesthetics, but it's the thought in being unique with simple shapes as much as possible. So that's the biggest thing I would say that you need to do: simplify things drastically. So we'll do a rating on this. In terms of logo design, what do you guys think that this person should get for a rating? A 1 being the worst and then 10 being the best. $8.5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 10 Expendables. All right. I mean, it has potential if you remove a lot of the elements and just stick to one. So I'm gonna say, I'll just say 4, maybe 3.5. All right, let's continue on. Let me look on my other monitor for this. All right, I do have money, as it says. All right, where was that? Please read the context on Discord. Okay, here it is. Polisnek. I have no clue how to pronounce your name. Sorry about that. There we go. Things to consider. I have to change the DNS as an excuse for the website's imperfections. I started front-end development and web design a year ago. Coded and okay. Just the landing page, not mobile friendly yet. Okay, so also please hover over one of the links in the menu top right corner and tell me if I should remove the 2 ms millisecond delay for the animation, jQuery and anime.js. So hover over one of the links in the menu top right corner. Okay. All right, so this is a super chat. Thank you very much for that. Let's check it out. What is the meaning of life? Oh my God, we're gonna find out the meaning of life right here in this YouTube live stream. How the heck am I supposed to know? Well, come on, man. All right. All right. So this is all pretty much type-based. All right, so we have this here. Okay. I would say the 2 millisecond delay that you have on there is probably, it's probably fine. Yeah, it's not noticeable enough to where it causes any significant issues. I would say this, the circle that's over here right now, that's a darker gray color, I would make that lighter, much lighter. Bring more, like opacity of like 50% into what it currently is now based on the current value. But But yeah, coming down, I like this part. This is definitely unique. I'm not too certain about the alignment that you have right here, because we're going from right to left. We have a strong left alignment right here, but this is sort of a little bit weaker. And same thing here, because I noticed this several times throughout. And if we're looking at this type, if we're just looking at this whole section right here, it's lacking structure in terms of the layout. So I would just think about the getting things laid out a little bit better. Right here, this is all looking pretty solid. From here, it's nice and structured with your I would also look right here, when you're scrolling down, this shouldn't be touching right here. I would put white space in between here, so that maybe the end of content, you at least have this much space right here. Same thing with your name. You might want to change that as well. You could even put your name on a separate line, your last name rather. So what do you guys think? This part's definitely cool. What do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Definitely a more unique approach for a portfolio, which is good. All right, so we have 6.5s, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 9 point, kind of all over the place. It has potential, especially if you got the layout issues fixed and some of the other small things. So I'm going to say a 7.5 for this, maybe 7.3. Could easily be an 8 if these small things were addressed. Thanks again for the super chat. Awesome stuff. We had another super chat come in, so let's check that out. And that is from Sir Exotic. So it's Sir Exotic. Thank you for that. Right here, new website made for a friend and his partner developed the app. Think Bader, still working on the responses, but should be ready for review. Okay. Thinkubator. There we go. Thinkubator. Interesting. All right. Let's scroll down. Let your ideas be heard. All right. It's all pretty solid here. All right. Okay. So this is overall pretty solid. The way you have the layout structured. Looking at this part, one thing that's thrown me off is in this the watermark background image. This part, this right side is blurred up, just through depth of the camera focus is focused over here. This little green area was like really throwing me off for some reason. It's like it's not contrasting well. So I would take it into Photoshop and just make that all blue as well. It's just a very minor thing. Outside of that, this is all, yeah, this is solid. There's not anything that's blatantly wrong, objectively at least. This is all pretty solid. Yeah, I don't really have too much of a problem with any of this. This is solid. Yeah. I might want to work up here on the icons a tad bit. Some of the icons look a little bit clip arty in a sense. But yeah, in terms of the layout and everything and the type, the white space, the scale, all the important UI fundamentals, this is all solid. Yeah, very solid. So what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? A 1 being the worst and the 10 being the best. Yeah, I can't really identify anything that's too wrong with this, so very solid. All right, so we got 8, 9, 6, 8, 9, 8, 7, 8.5, another 7.5. It definitely has a lot. It has more potential than what's being portrayed here, despite it being really solid otherwise. So I think I'm going to say for this, it's a 7.5 because there's nothing blatantly wrong, but I think there could be a few things that could, oops, take it to the next level. I accidentally pressed the wrong button there. So let's continue on. Oh, let's not continue on for the time being. We have to mention our sponsor, which is Skillshare.com, which offers thousands of video-based courses where you can learn UI and UX design. So if I'm telling you and I'm reviewing your design, I say you guys have to get back to fundamentals, you can find that in the UI UX design section. Also, graphic design, web development, you can get 2 free months if you click on the link that's in the first link here in the description of YouTube, where you can watch any amount of courses for 2 freaking months. Definitely take advantage of that. Let's continue on. All right, who is next? Oh, great. We have so many of these. I don't want to skip over people. So let's... All right, so Tango Tours, I think, was the last one that we looked at. Yeah. All right, so here's Amand. Okay, I don't know. All right. We already have some issues here, I can tell. Wait, well, what is that? What was happening? Something changed. All right. Okay. Let's refresh this. Okay, so first, up here, and I would get rid of that animation as well. So we have this logo. Definitely left align it. Don't center it as it is. Left align it so you can clearly define the left and right portion, the columns of the layout. It really just helps the layout look better. So the Dr. Nakamura or whatever should be like right here. The lorem ipsum text that you have here, I would left align this. When you're dealing with 2 columns, I'm not a fan of having text that's centered in a 2-column layout. Or in this context, yeah, left align or right align it. Coming down here, the About Us overlay of this container with the green, it doesn't contrast well, so it looks kind of bad. So instead of trying to go kind of unique like this, push this over right here. Just have About Us start right here. You could do this idea, but only if you took this and made it a very light color so that you could still read About Us. So like a very light gray, perhaps a very, very light gray could work, in which case your icons would have to contrast as well, so they couldn't be white anymore. Coming down, this background image is a good use of a watermark based background using this blue tint, and you can clearly read your type on top of it. But look at all this white space you have underneath it. That's throwing things off. It should only be this amount from the bottom of this text right here. So it should end right here, this container. This part's not too bad, but it is a little hard to read this part. So you could wrap this in perhaps a white container and use the black text or something like that. Same issue here with this overlay. So yeah, what do you guys think this person should get for their rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Thank you. Yes, sir. There's some areas that are pretty good in this, but again, there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. So I'm gonna say a 4. You could bump this up to like a 6.5 or 7 though, if you just adjusted the few things that I mentioned though. And definitely get rid of that part, that little animation that really serves no purpose in my opinion. So let's continue on though. Thank you for this submission. Here's a application prototype. So this is just kind of like a movie here. I'm not controlling it at all. All right, so let's watch that. This is solid. This overlay graphic right here. I don't see anything too wrong. Reloaded. You're up to date. Yeah, I'm not really sure what exactly this is for, but the design here is pretty good. I'd say on these things right here. Yeah, nothing really to critique negatively here. This all works. Unfortunately, when it comes to these sorts of submissions, there's where I can't control it, and there's not really a lot happening. I don't really like doing a rating or anything. But for what it is, yeah, it's definitely, 7.5, I would say. But I'm not going to ask everybody to rate it. So thanks for the submission, though. The next one, check out a free template I've created. Let me know what you think about it. Okay, so here's a free template. Nano web services. Let's refresh, see if there's any sort of animation though. All right, so let's come down. All right. Okay, so first of all, we come here and we're presented with this large graphic, and it's pretty much nothing but this graphic. We have a business name right here, and your menu over here. First, so on this a large viewport like this, I wouldn't put this and make it so close to the edge of the browser. You can afford to bring these in a little bit more white space from the edge of the browser. This right here, the web services in one place, is nowhere near large enough. It's being consumed by this ocean right here, an ocean essentially. And the get started call to action button does not contrast enough at all. You don't really hardly see it. It's still in the same hue as this blue watercolor, and so you just don't see it at all. So this part really needs a lot of work for it to be as solid as possible. Right here, the way you have these containers and the text, it's just a wall of text essentially. Get rid of that. Because nobody's going to sit here on any type of website and read this much text. They're just not going to do it. Maybe for a separate About Us page or something like that, they would. But yeah, I would get rid of this and rethink that. Working like, just a few small bits amount of text along with perhaps like a graphic or a supporting illustration. The way you have these are opacity, so I could kind of see the back of this, and we can see everything's very blocky. It's very, very blocky. Same thing like when it comes to homes. Like modern homes have a nice open floor plan, but some older homes are just very boxy. You feel like you're boxed in, and this is how I feel with the way that this layout's structured. The same thing could be said. The forms down here, again, very boxy. You have borders all over with hardly any white space. So we have this gray thin border right here going all the way around. Then we have the border around the actual text, the text field itself. So it's very liney and boxy and bordery. You want to get rid of that completely. Give your elements room to breathe. Don't put them inside boxes like this. All right, so let me know what you guys think about the rating for this one. 1 being the worst you've ever seen, and 10 being the best. Yeah, the typeface could also be adjusted as well to something that's a little bit more unique. So 7, 3.5, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, I'm going to say a 3. So definitely some work to be done. Definitely what I would suggest is taking advantage of the 2 free months of Skillshare and following the UI and UX fundamental based courses, and you'll definitely improve. All right, so let's continue on. Into my project. So we got a Figma prototype. I'm starting to hate Figma and the way they have their shareable prototypes right here, because maybe that's because he didn't have it prototyped up yet. Maybe that's why. All right, let's see. We have 20 minutes left essentially. Coming down here. Okay, so I can click login and sign up. Okay. All right, so for this design, one issue is there's too much happening. Way too much happening. You have essentially already you have 3 different lines of navigation occurring up here. Then you have this photograph with a really just very interesting based type that's sitting on top of it. This sort of script type of font, and you styling them in different manners as well. And it's kind of hard to read them with how elaborate and how many colors are in this vibrant photograph. And so all this stuff mixed together is really making it hard to read. I mean, if you made this a more simplified, like a solid color right here or something, and then maybe had just like a small photograph over here in some unique manner that's placed with food, I think it would be a lot better. But right now, with this type combined with all this stuff, it makes it hard to read. Next section down here, I would give more white space on the top and bottom of these elements because they're really squished together. Deals of the day, that's fine. I would get rid of the outer drop shadow that you have here, or the box shadow that you have. It just makes it look a little bit dated, because that used to be a popular thing, like, you know, from in the mid 2000s or so, or even 2010 plus. Outside of that, let's see, coming down, this is pretty solid down here, the way you have the footer. So yeah, definitely room for improvement, but there is definitely, you know, like, again, I think it's primarily this photograph and this type that's kind of throwing it off. So what do you guys think? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best? Oh, somebody sent in a super chat. Okay, I'll check that out. Thank you for that. Six, 6, 4, 4.5, 6, 8, 5, 6, 7, 5. Yeah, I'm gonna say like a 5.2 for that. So let's go ahead and go back. And somebody sent in a super chat up here. Oh crap, I went down too far. Leo. I'm looking for it, looking for it. All right, Adobe XD prototype. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, wait a second. I've seen this already. Oh, okay. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, it's very cool use of the Adobe XD's auto animate feature. And for what this is, I really don't see any issues that are really standing out as being incorrect. Yeah, so I have nothing. I don't really have anything negative. Because this is a super chat, I'll let people rate this as well. So a 1 being the worst and a 10 being the best. Let me know what you think. I'll maybe work in an animation for the update is available. Maybe have it slide in from the top. But again, so we have 9. Yeah, I would say probably like 7.8. Yeah, I would say that. All right, thank you for the submission. Now I have to find my way back to see who is next in line. Where are we at? We got a lot of submissions today. Who was next? I think it was this, was it this person? No, I don't think it was. That's the one I just did. I just do not want to skip over people. Yeah, Okay, so the next person is right here. This is Stefano. This is my website. I really like some suggestions. By the way, the focus is on the responsives here, so I'd really appreciate if you could visit this one on both mobile and desktop mode. All right. I usually don't check responsiveness just because it will take a little bit longer, but I'll do it because this person wants me to do that. So let's do that. I would make cursor pointer over this. Sometimes people may be dealing on desktop with a lot of browsers or windows and they have it small naturally, so make that cursor pointer. I can see that you've set it up pretty good in terms of the responsiveness for mobile, but just to talk about the overall design, let's see here. You have really large sections of text that span a lot of width here on desktop. So instead, on desktop, I would take this what I do and just put it maybe to the left or to the right. And that way you can kind of condense the length of this type because nobody likes to read, physically really long spaces of text. It's easier to condense it a little bit more into columns. So I would definitely do that. And as for this, the background color versus the foreground color that you have here, it's just kind of bland with this mid gray. So I would probably rework that. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you could rework it, but I think maybe just making your name goes here, this placeholder text. I would take that and make it darker so it contrasts more. Also, again, it's one of those issues with a big amount of spans, like this whole thing, or at least this part going out to 100% width of the container is pretty large. You can also see there's not a lot of white space between some of these elements. And I'm also not a fan of this very kind of thick border. It's not a border, but it's just like a thick gray line going across. So right here, there's not much layout that's occurring. So I would rework it, try to condense things more. But yeah, other than that, the way you've done the responsiveness works well. So what do you guys think this person should get for their rating? A 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. We'll be doing this for about 10 or so more minutes. I just got water all over the place. A 6, 6.5, 8, 6, 6.25. Yeah, I'm gonna say for this, kind of like a 6.2, 6.3 or so. All right, let's continue on. An NGO website I'm currently working on. Just check 2 pages, home and work with us, under can you, or you can help rather. So which ones was it? Home and work with us. So the home page, let's check out that real quick. Oh no, you've taken away the scroll bar. So I would definitely not do that because people don't necessarily want to use a mouse scroll wheel. But outside of that, yeah, because I don't want to have to keep on like using this to go back up to the page real quickly. This part's pretty solid right here. I probably left align this. This is solid. This works like that. This works as well. The cards are pretty good. This works as well. I'd probably make these 100% white and with no opacity. It looks like, or they're gray, or I'm not sure what type of tint is applied on there. I would just make them 100% white. But this works, this whole container, this whole section is structured well. That works. All right, so that's all pretty solid here. Nothing too negative happening except for the getting rid of the scroll bar, which I don't see. The Donate Today button is kind of big vertically, so scale down the height so it's not so close to the edges here. What we do, yeah, the overlay graphic, it works pretty well. Good white space between your different sections and all that. I would probably make the titles like education, wellness, health, and poverty. I would make those bold so you create separation visually between these two bits of type right here. But yeah, very solid. What do you think this person should get for a rating for their design? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Thank you for the super chat too. Oh wait, was that the super chat? Oh wait, did I skip that person? I think I did. I'll go back up to him. All right, 7, 7, 8, 7. Yeah, you know what? I think it's a solid 7 in my opinion. But yeah, definitely get the scroll bar there. All right, we had a super chat, Yan. I felt like I may have skipped him. Did I do this person too? Let me make sure. I do not want to be skipping people. Okay, yeah, we already did that person. I need to do Yan. All right, where is Yan at? All right, this is another super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I'll probably do a few more. I'll just reserve. By the way, no more super chats. I won't be reviewing anymore outside of the ones I'm going to do just for the next like 8 or 9 minutes. Okay, so let's check this on out. I'm just going to scroll down just to get an idea of what's happening here first before I do a review of any sort. Okay, so first of all, it's a cool background image, but one of the issues is with, you know, I can clearly see this type very easy, but when it comes to web developer, it's a little bit more of an afterthought. I would probably, on desktop at least, make this larger, a much larger font size. It'll go out to maybe here, and then web developer you can make a little bit larger and bold it as well, but still keep it separated enough between this text and itself. These right here, the social media icons are a way to contact you. You can barely see. So I would think about how I might want to rework that. Again, you could take this whole background image and make it darker so that these foreground elements stick out more, especially with this area. The hovers with the purple, that doesn't really work well based on the background image that's being used. So I would change that as well. The Hiring Me button, and again, look at the alignment. Everything's equally aligned right here, but I would definitely take the Hire Me at least and push it down further so it kind of sits by itself and it's easier to see. I would, like right now, it's kind of hard to see. Make it filled in a color that contrasts well with the background color. This over here works, but the X should be something that contrasts a lot more with this background, so make it darker. Now, if I come down here, it seems like there's too much of a lag before content shows up. Like right here, wait, let me go back up. If I come back down, nothing, then finally shows up. So make that coming quicker. The lorem ipsum text, you can't see it enough. I know you want to create, you know, contrast between these two elements, and you can do that, but you still need to make this a little bit darker. If we use the contrast plugin, that's contrast with a K, you guys can find that, and I choose inspect, it fails. So for readability, this definitely fails. If we want to fix it, that's what it should be, 76, 76, 76 at a minimum, and it looks a lot better that way too. Coming down here, I suppose this works, but again, the hover color is killing it for sure. So definitely change that to something else. You can make it like appear yellow instead, and it would still contrast with this background quite well. This right here, the way they're kind of like watermarked out, don't like that at all. Make it like this by default, the default hover option. All right, everything else pretty solid here. I'm not a fan of the background color though for this footer versus this stuff. So I'd probably go with a darker background color or a lighter, and then make this stuff darker so it contrasts. So what do you guys think that this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. All right, 6.8, 8.5, 7.7, 8, 6, 7, 7, 6. I'm going to say, because it definitely has potential. Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm going back and forth between like 7 or a 6.8. So I think I'll just say a 7, but more like a 6.8. And it could definitely be an 8 if you just fixed a few of the issues that I mentioned. So we're going to do one more, and then we will conclude. So I need to find my place in line, or the next person in line, rather. Let's see here. Let me see. Where am I at? People are texting me. I'm looking off screen. I think I checked that one out already. All right, here it is. Epoque cars. All right, let's refresh to see if there's any animation. Nope. Okay, so coming down. Okay, looking at this. All right. Definitely has potential, but notice where, and it looks like this image is like has some sort of skew on it. It's throwing me off a little bit. The navigation should be away from the top bar a little bit more centered based on the amount of space it has in here. So push this down away from the background, or yeah, away from the top of the browser rather. I think with this mid gray, which kind of clashes with this image right here, with this like the yellow right here, I would probably make this more closer to white for this light gray that you have here. This type is a little bit hard to read. I know if I use the contrast inspector here, I'm not sure if it's really getting the background. The foreground color is that, the background, let me pick. So I guess it does contrast enough. To me, it still seems a little bit harder to read because everything just feels real bland. There's not a lot of contrast occurring here. I would put more leading. For the leading, I put more line height on this just to push things down. It's a little bit, just a tad bit. It's a small, but this is, and the typeface is blurry. I'm not sure why that's happening. I like it, but it's just a little bit hard to focus on. It's out of focus a bit. This is pretty good. I would push contact down further from this area because it's a little bit condensed up here. Definitely push contact down a lot more, at least this amount right here. All right, so what do you guys think this person should get for a rating for the design? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Four, 7, 5.5, 6.3. Definitely has potential. Yeah, I'm gonna say a 7. All right, pretty good submissions today. Definitely check out. We're gonna conclude, and we'll do the next live stream in roughly 2 weeks, and probably just stick on a Friday again. And as always, make sure you guys take advantage of the 2 free months of Skillshare.com, where you can learn a ton of different things, UI, UX design included, web development, graphic design, fine art, animation, freelancing, all that good stuff. And you can get it all for 2 free months if you click the very top link here in the YouTube description. All right, so hopefully you guys learned a bit, and hopefully I was able to help at least some of you who submitted. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the very next live stream again, which won't be this Friday, but it might be next Friday after that. All right, make sure to check out the Discord server, idle in here, chat at any time. We have a bunch of sections in here. And yeah, I'll see you guys real soon. Goodbye.